The Young and the Restless, spoilers full. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Tuesday, a beautiful day outside, but honestly I have been staring at my laptop screen for like 6 hours straight, and my brain is just completely fried. But I had to get this out to you guys before my deadline, because the drama in Genoa City right now is just absolutely off the rails, and we really need to talk about it. So let's just dive right into the deep end of the Newman family mess. Because of course, it is a massive mess. When is it not a mess with these people? Victor Newman is doing that thing again. You know the exact thing I'm talking about, where he decides he is the absolute king of the universe, and everyone else is just a pawn on his chessboard that he can move around whenever he feels like it. And honestly, it is getting so exhausting to watch him try to control every single aspect of his adult children's lives. I mean, Nick is a grown man. Nick is a grandfather for crying out loud. But Victor is acting like Nick is a toddler who needs his daddy to hold his hand through every single crisis. And the big issue right now, Jack Abbott. Of course, it all comes back to Jack Abbott. It always comes back to Jack with Victor. So here is the deal. Victor is standing his ground on a very important issue regarding Nick's recovery. He is absolutely demanding that Jack stay far, far away from Nick while Nick is in rehab. Victor is just flat out banning Jack from being anywhere near his son. And I am just sitting here like, what were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well? Victor trying to build a wall around his son is just going to make Nick want to break it down. But Nikki is not having it. Nikki is actually pushing back against Victor, which I love to see. I always love when Nikki stands up to him. Nikki thinks that Jack is the perfect sponsor for Nick. And let's be real, she has a point. She has a really good point. Jack has been through the ringer with addiction. He knows the dark places that Nick is in right now. Jack helped Nikki through some of her absolute darkest times. But does Victor care about that? Nope, not even a little bit. Victor still sees Jack as the guy who had a wild night of debauchery with his Nikki. He doesn't see Jack as the guy who literally saved her life. He just sees the guy who slept with his wife 1,000,000 years ago. And it is just so petty. Victor is holding on to this ancient jealousy while his son is literally fighting for his life. Nick is battling a severe fentanyl addiction, having terrifying nightmares about Matt Clark, hitting absolute rock bottom in dingy motels with random women like Marie Kirkland, and Victor is worried about his own bruised ego. It is just so ridiculous. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Victor. Maybe he genuinely thinks Jack is a bad influence, because of the whole Patty Williams mess and Diane being kidnapped and all that chaos. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. Victor probably thinks Jack's life is too messy right now to be a rock for Nick. But wait, no, that doesn't make sense either. Jack is sober. Jack knows how to navigate the steps. Victor is just being a jealous, controlling old man who cannot stand the idea of an Abbott being the one to save a Newman. So Nikki and Victor are just going at it. They are arguing constantly about this. Nikki is practically begging Victor to put aside his decades-long hatred for Jack just for Nick's sake. She is pushing him to see the bigger picture. But Victor is just a brick wall. He refuses to budge. And the fans on social media are just tearing Victor apart for this. Everyone is saying he is going to push Nick right over the edge. Because if you tell an addict they can't talk to someone who might actually help them, what do you think is going to happen? And that is exactly what I think is going to happen next. If Nick reaches out to Jack for help, and if Nick actually accepts some positive advice and sponsorship from Jack, then everything is going to spiral completely out of Victor's control. And we all know Victor Newman loses his absolute mind when he is not in control. He will probably try to destroy Jabot again just to punish Jack for answering Nick's phone call. It is just so exhausting. But at the same time, I really hope Nick does it. I hope Nick defies his dad and gets the help he actually needs, because whatever Victor is doing right now is clearly not working. But okay, let's shift gears because the Nick and Victor drama is only half of the insanity going on right now. We need to talk about Victoria and Kyle. Oh my god, Victoria and Kyle. I don't even know where to begin with these two. A few episodes ago, we saw them sharing these passionate, forbidden kisses in Jack's office at Jabot. And I was just like, what is happening? Why are they doing this? It feels so wrong, but also kind of fascinating, in a train wreck sort of way. So now, Victoria is going to propose an idea to Kyle. And this idea is going to lead them into a very risky situation. I don't know exactly what the idea is yet, but knowing Victoria, it is probably some massive corporate power play mixed with their weird new romantic dynamic. Maybe she wants Kyle to help her take down Billy since Billy is currently trying to launch a hostile takeover of Chancellor. Or maybe she wants Kyle to help her blindside Victor. Whatever it is risky. And Kyle is just arrogant enough and reckless enough right now to go along with it. Kyle has been acting so unhinged lately anyway, with his dad getting stabbed, his mum Diane getting kidnapped by that creepy doctor, Markham, and his whole life turning upside down. Kyle is just trauma bonding with Victoria. He is looking for an escape, and Victoria is giving him that escape. She told him she was going to knock his arrogance into pieces, and then he just pulled her in for a kiss. It is so clunky and weird, but they are both just leaning into the chaos. But you guys, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, could have prepared me for the spoiler that just dropped. I literally gasped when I read it. I had to read it 3 times to make sure my tired eyes weren't playing tricks on me. Are you ready for this? Victor is shocked when Kyle proposes to Victoria. Yes, you read that right. Kyle Abbott is going to propose to Victoria Newman. I can't even process this. What on earth is Kyle thinking? A proposal? Already? They literally just started hooking up in secret, and now he is putting a ring on it? This is the most insane, impulsive, reckless thing Kyle has ever done. And that is saying a lot for Kyle Abbott. Let's just zoom out for a second and look at the bigger pattern here. Let's look at this deeply messed up family tree. It is not even a tree anymore. It is a wreath. A messy, tangled, thorny wreath. Kyle used to be married to Summer Newman. Summer is Nick's daughter, which makes Summer Victoria's niece. So Kyle is proposing to his ex-wife's aunt. That alone is enough to make you want to take a shower. But wait, it gets worse. It gets so much worse. Kyle was literally just dating Claire Newman. Claire is Victoria's biological daughter. He was just involved with the daughter, and now he is proposing to the mother. Who does that? What kind of psychological damage is Kyle dealing with right now that makes him think this is a good idea? He is proposing to his ex-girlfriend's mother. I just cannot wrap my head around the sheer audacity of Kyle Abbott. And how is Claire going to react to this? Poor Claire. She has already been through so much trauma with her crazy Aunt Jordan and feeling abandoned and finally finding her place in the Newman family. And now the guy she was just dating is going to marry her mom? That is going to destroy her. Victoria is supposed to be protecting Claire, building a relationship with her, and instead she is swallowing Kyle's face and apparently saying yes to his marriage proposal. It is just so gross and so compelling at the same time. I hate it, but I can't look away. And Victor. Oh, to be a fly on the wall when Victor finds out about this proposal. The spoiler says Victor is shocked. Honestly, shocked is probably the understatement of the century. Victor is going to have a full-blown aneurysm. He already hates the Abbotts. He hates Jack. He hates Billy. And he definitely hates Kyle. Victor has never respected Kyle. He sees Kyle as a weak, arrogant little boy. And now that boy is trying to marry his precious daughter, the golden child of the Newman Empire. Victor is going to explode. He is going to unleash hell on Kyle. I wouldn't be surprised if Victor tries to have Kyle shipped off to a deserted island or throws him in a cell next to Patty Williams. Victor hates when his kids date Abbotts. Look at how much he hated Victoria being with Billy all those years. And Billy was at least somewhat of an equal in age. Kyle is so much younger. Kyle is practically a kid to Victor. The age gap, the family history, the fact that Kyle dated Claire. Victor is going to use every single one of those things to try and destroy Kyle. But honestly, part of me wonders if Victoria is doing this just to spite Victor. Victoria has been working overtime as the family peacemaker lately, trying to keep everyone calm while Nick is in rehab and Nikki is stressing out. Maybe Victoria is just sick of being the good daughter. Maybe she is sick of Victor always calling the shots. Proposing to Kyle, or accepting Kyle's proposal, is the ultimate act of rebellion for Victoria. It is a huge middle finger to her father. And what about Jack? How is Jack going to react when he finds out his son is marrying Victor Newman's daughter? Jack is already dealing with so much right now. He is trying to recover from his injuries. He is dealing with Diane's paranoia and trauma. He is fighting with Billy over the Chancellor takeover. And now his son is going to marry into the enemy camp. Jack is going to lose his mind too. Jack and Victor might actually agree on something for once. This marriage cannot happen. But you know what? Maybe I'm being too harsh on the writers. Maybe they are setting this up for a massive, dramatic wedding sweeps event where everything just blows up. Because there is no way this actually makes it down the aisle, right? Right? I mean, Summer is going to return to town eventually. We all know the rumors that Summer is coming back, probably with a new face if they recast her. Imagine Summer walking back into Genoa City, ready to reclaim her life, only to find out her ex-husband is marrying her Aunt Victoria. The screaming matches in the Newman living room are going to be legendary. And let's not forget the corporate side of this. Victoria is proposing a risky idea to Kyle. Kyle works at Jabot. Victoria is Newman. Are they going to try and merge something? Are they going to try and take over Chancellor themselves to stop Billy? Billy is currently bragging to Lily and Kane that Jabot legally owns Chancellor because of some old unpaid loan from John Abbott. Billy is totally obsessed and delusional right now, sitting at the GCAC with Audra Charles, ignoring all her warnings. If Kyle and Victoria team up corporately and romantically, they could become this weird, unstoppable power couple that threatens both Victor and Billy. It is just so messy. Every single storyline right now is bleeding into each other. You have Victor pulling the strings on Adam and Chelsea to write a smear campaign against Billy. You have Lily furious at Jack, demanding he stop Billy. You have Kane and Lily preparing for a dirty corporate war. You have Phyllis running around screaming at people because Matt Clark is missing. And right in the middle of all this corporate warfare, Kyle decides it is the perfect time to drop to one knee and propose to Victoria Newman. I honestly feel like I need a nap, just thinking about how this is all going to play out. The fallout is going to be massive. Nikki is going to be caught in the middle again. She is already fighting with Victor over Jack being Nick's sponsor. Now she is going to have to deal with her daughter marrying Jack's son. Nikki is just trying to plan a romantic vow renewal in Venice, and instead, her entire family is catching on fire. And what if Nick actually does go to Jack for help? While all this Kyle and Victoria drama is exploding, Nick could quietly slip away, defy Victor's orders, and ask Jack to be his sponsor. That would just be the cherry on top of Victor's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week. Victor would lose control of Victoria, lose control of Nick, and have to watch the Abbotts infiltrate his family from every single angle. It is poetic justice, really. Victor tries so hard to keep the Abbotts out, and they just keep finding their way back in. I don't know, guys. I am just rambling at this point, because there is so much to process. I am so tired of Victor's hypocrisy, but I am also living for the chaos Kyle is bringing. It feels like a first draft of a script that someone accidentally filmed, but I am here for it. I really am. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Victoria will actually say yes? Do you think Victor will literally murder Kyle? And do you think Jack will end up helping Nick despite Victor's ban? I need to go get some coffee and stare at a wall for a while. I will see you guys in the next update.